Hello everyone, welcome to MRU e-learning, powered by Mallareddy University. I am Dr. M. Geeta Yadav, working as Assistant Professor in the Cybersecurity Department. In today's session, I am going to explain about the incident handling life cycle. So before going to the incident handling life cycle, we'll see some basic definitions. What is an event? Event is any observable occurrence in a system or a network. So here we can say that event may be a user connecting to a file share, or like a server receiving a request from a web page, or user sending an electron. The example of an event is any kind of an action which has been performed, like sending an email or like clicking a mouse, or any kind of action is performed can be called as an event. Here, event is done without any kind of a disturbance, then it is called as a normal event. Coming to the other definition, adverse event. So the events which are not done in a proper manner, which has a negative consequences like system crashes or network packet flaw or any unauthorized use of system privilege. The example of this kind of adverse events may be any kind of a execution of malicious event in a system, or like we can say any unauthorized access of system privileges, or we can say that like sending a message from a sender to a receiver, but a receiver can't able to receive those messages. This is nothing but an adverse event which is having a negative consequences or negative impact, which by which we can say that it is not received to a receiver. Coming to the other definition, alert. Alert can be one of a suspicious event. We can say that alert is an example of if you are logged into a system, there we can see a pop-up boxes to a normal system. Like alerts are the pop-up boxes which is triggered by an event. It is like a suspicious event has been done by other persons without your notice. It can be called as an alert. So in any organization, when you are working as an team lead or any sort of SOC analyst or any sort of a thing, that we are used to set an alert to a normal system to retrieve it or to avoid from any kind of malicious activities. Coming to the other definition is incident. So here a computer security incident is a violation or like a threat of computer security if you are not able to follow the proper policies like rules and regulation of an organization. If you are not able to follow this kind of policies or standards or whatever the rules defined by an organization, then we can say that a particular type of event is an incident that is having some sort of a negative impact. That is, example is insider threat. So a person who is working in an organization gives our data to other sort of an organization for expecting some sort of money or some sort of things. So this is an incident, example of an incident. The other kind of maybe a privilege escalation attacks or a phishing attack. All those kind of attacks comes under the incident. So this incident occurs when we are not able to follow the systematic procedure or violating the rules. Coming to the other definition, incident response. So incident response refers to an organization's processes for detecting any kind of an attack. So here, normally an incident has happened. Like what is the minimum span of that particular time is we have to detect that particular sort of an attack within a minimal time. If there is no sort of attack, the retrieval time is slow, then there will be a huge damage. So in order to prevent the damage, so the cyber security team will limit or will have a different sort of a teams to limit the damages in normal way. So always a plan should be done within based on the severity or based on a kind of a priority. An action should be performed within a seconds or within a minutes or within a hours. It should be done and it should be mitigated from a system. Coming to the incident handling life cycle. So according to NIST standards, there are the 4 phases coming from the preparation to the post-incident activity. Coming to the first phase, that is your preparation phase. So here the incident response has to undergo several phases from the preparation through the post-incident analysis. The first phase is your initialization phase, where the response policies or the plans or a procedural elements has to be properly defined. So we need to give a proper training to the team members and on the policies, like what kind of a person has to do, like what are the different roles or the responsibilities have been defined by a different sort of a people. Like if we take an example of a help desk, the help desk person has to take the tickets from the different sort of like outsider people, and they have to raise or they have to give the ticket to a different sort of a people based on the type of an activity. So we can say that there is a person like a security related event. We have to give that security related to a security manager. If it is any sort of a technical disturbances, then we have to give that to a technical assistant. So based on the kind of an activity, we have to give that particular incident to a different sort of a people. And the help desk person, similarly, there are n number of people, like a legal people, like a HR people, like a media people, or like a communication team. All the different sort of people will be present in the IR team, so that any kind of an attack based on the type of severity, based on the type of a need, we are going to act upon that and we are going to take an action against that. So the first phase during preparation phase, the main criteria is we have to protect the infrastructure. So in order to provide the infrastructure, that is like we have to build the policies like a security policies or a file war, or like we can say theme tools. All the different sort of a tools should be done in a proper manner to prevent the attacks from any sort of an incident. If there is any sort of an incident happens also, we can say that no organization is having or like it is free of an incident. If any sort of attack has happened in the future, we have to prevent that in a minutes or a fractions of a seconds. To do that, like a proper preparation plan. So organization should be done in a proper manner, like a policies, like in a policies, like what are the rules, regulations, responsibilities, all those things will be defined properly and they have to act upon that. Next, coming to the plan, instant response plan, there all the kind of a blueprint, or we can say that a roadmap will be defined for each individual organization. If any sort of an attack has happened in an organization, they have to act upon that. Like we are already defined a plan. If any sort of attack has happened, we have to take the help of a different sort of a people. Coming to the procedural elements, that is your IR procedural. So the complete plan will be defined here. Based on that procedural elements, we are going to take an action and we have to prevent it from any sort of an attack. Coming to the preparation phase, like we have to go for a policy and a planning. So here we need to develop a plan or a policy which define the scope, roles, responsibilities, and we have to train the people who are freshers to an organization. Like they have to create a IR plans, like a playbooks for any example. We can give a phishing attack or a malware attack or DDoS. If this kind of incident happens, they have to how to act upon that particular kind of an incident to be done. So to do that, they have to create a playbook on a phishing attack or a malware, or they have to be trained on different sort of an attacks. So for that, different sort of people are required to train them, and roles are given, the responsibilities are given. Next, after that, training is given. The other team is a team formation and a training. So here the expertised people, a normal behavior of a system will be different and abnormal behavior of a system will be different. If any sort of abnormal behavior is observed in a system, that should be observed by a person. So here the person should be trained in such a way that the abnormal behavior has to be identified in a faster manner and it has to be intimated to the people, and we have to avoid this kind of a breaches from the different sort of a people. So the different roles can be incident handler or a forensic analyst or a communication officer. So based on the kind of a roles and responsibilities, we have to conduct a regular training and a simulation exercises, like what are the different sort of a training has to be given for a different sort of a people, and what are the examples of your playbook should be given, and based on the different site of an activities, the training should be given to the different sort of a people. Like toolkits are infrastructure. In the preparation phase, the main observable thing is tools. Like here, always an organization who is working should be free of an incident. So in order to do that, the firewalls like antivirus or a SIEM tools or log analysis, whatever the tools they have been using, that has to be updated and it should be done in a faster manner so that every sort of attack has to be detected. Example, if you go for an autopsy tool, or if you go for a Splunk tool. So here we are using a different sort of a tools based on our requirement. If we take an example of alerts, here we can set an alerts to any sort of a organization. The example in the Splunk tool, we can set an type of an alert, like if it is for a 24 hours audit, or like if you are misusing the password more than, typing a wrong password more than 5 times. So we can set an alert, like we can set a things in a different sort of a different tools. So here, whatever the tools which you are using for a basic time, that should be updated always. And it should be have a secure communication channels, like when you are doing the incident. So there will be a different sort of a team of people will be there. Like the same kind of ticket is given to a different sort of a people. When a team has been found an incident, that should be given to the other sort of a people to avoid the wastage of time, so that the incident can be solved properly. So there will be a different sort of a people or a different sort of a teams will be there. If we take an example, like a centralized team. A centralized team will be handling all the organization incidents. Like if we come for your distributed team. So here in this, the multiple stakeholders, like multiple teams will be working, like one branch for a one person. And if it is cover coordination, in the coordination, both the centralized people as well as the coordination people will be working together, and there will be no authority between the people, so that the centralized people will be taking the centralized and all the kind of information will be passed to all the different. So based on the kind of a requirement to an organization, either to a small organization or to a big organization, so we need to take a different team and we have to give the responsibilities. Next comes to a communication plan. So we have to have a proper communication plan with internal as well as external stakeholders. Let's take a customer who has given an incident, and we can't able to solve the problem with a defined prescribed time. In that situation, we have to give that particular person with some sort of explanation before arriving the particular person, or some conditions, like there may be any kind of an incident has happened in a public manner. So what the person has to do, like the chief investigation officer or the manager of that particular organization has to represent and has to talk in front of the media, and they have to explain about the incident, how the severity it is, how the damage is, how they can able to resolve that particular sort of an incident. In order to have this communication, we are having a type of relationship between the media, our platform, like social networking sites, and our legal people, and all those people we are having. So to avoid that kind of an attacks, like some cases, if you are not able to solve the attack in a proper manner, there may be a legal problems, like innovation problems. So there may be a intellectual property theft if there is a data theft has been happened. So in some situations where if you are not able to solve a issue with the prescribed time, there may be a legal actions will be taken on that. So to avoid all this kind of situations, we should have a proper communication between the internal as well as external. So the internal people will be the people who are working in an organization. External people will be legal people or the other sort of a people should have a proper communication. If any sort of attack has happened, we have to take a remedial action within seconds. Next, coming to the detection and analysis. Now, anyway, an organization has been have a preparation plan, but even though they are not able to stop the incident, then coming to your next plan is your detection. The next phase is your detection and analysis. So the main objective is we need to identify and understand how the damage has been done, how it has to be. So the severity should be identified, and based on the kind of a severity, we have to solve the problem within the based on time or a second. So in this, there are a different sort of a detection methods we are using. Sometimes I have already said automated alerts. Here we are having some sort of alerts from your intrusion detection system or intrusion detection prevention systems, antivirus, firewalls, or SIEM tools. So some sort of alerts will be given to an organization if we unauthorized user or the person if using the different sort of an unaware things. Or we are generating a reports through the help desk or a security awareness campaigns. Or we can have this threat intelligence feed that indicate new or an ongoing attacks. Here in the detection method, we have to detect an method whatever the type of an incident. So it has to be done in a proper manner. So the security team must alert, that is a firewall or any antivirus or whatever the tools which is updated. Till the date, if you have done the things, then there will be no security. Even though if it is updated, a new kind of attack has happened, then we have to find out the tactical attack in a normal manner by taking all the considerations, and within the like a fraction of seconds. Comes to the analysis phase. Now, after detecting that particular kind of attack, then we go for the analysis phase. Here in this, we need to validate the incident. So, whether the kind of event is a real security incident or a false positive. That is a basic thing we have to do actually. So, here in this, like a normal kind of typing a password wrongly, normally we do this. So, but if it is like normal password is typed 3 times as a wrong password, then there will be a normal kind of incident may happen. If this has happened more than 5 times or 10 times, then it is called to be as a security incident. So, we have to confirm whether an event is done in a proper manner or like whatever the event is done is an incident. So, that should be identified. Whether a kind of event is normal event or whether a kind of event is an incident. That we have to confirm. Then we have to go for the next process. So, now we have to check against the different indicators like how when a particular kind of incident has happened, like what are the problems they have faced. Like we have some indicators of whether a particular system cost or abnormal behavior or whether it is restarting the system or like any kind of new login or a new log file has been found in our normal system. Or like these are the some methods where we can able to find out the indicators of compromise. After that, we need to classify them and we need to prioritize them. So, what are the type of, there are different sort of attacks, like categorize the type, whether it is an unauthorized access or a malware infection or a data leak, and how the data has been affected and how the systems are involved, like how the criticality of an event. So, here we have to classify them and prioritize them. If we take an example related to a public information, if any sort of public has been affected by this kind of an incident, then we call this as a priority first events and we have to sort them in a priority basis. That should be solved within a fraction or within a minutes or like some hours of time. We should not delay those kind of actions because there may be some kind of security breaches. Next is collect and preserve evidence. So this is like here we can say like some sort of incident has happened and we need to collect the information and we have to keep a log file. So here the particular person who is taken a token and now he is like the search of collecting the information from the different sort of things. So now the information has been gathered by a particular person about the incident, where the particular incident has happened, what kind of incident, whether what time the particular system has been affected, what kind of an incident it is. So all the kind of information which you have been done, that should be maintained in a separate log file and it should be saved. The person who is solving that incident and name along with the person, details, email IDs, all those kind of activities should be stored in a place and it should be given sometimes like a legal kind of a case uppers. Then in that situation, we have to give this kind of a log file or a memory dump or a system snapshot. So whatever the events which have been gathered, one copy should be kept with the incident handler, other copy should be given to the team lead or to the manager based on the availability. And next comes to the documentation. So we have to take an incident ticket and what are the kind of observation which have been identified with related to an incident that should be found and it should be documented properly along with the time, along with the seconds also. Coming to the next phase, containment, eradication and recovery. Now we have confirmed that a particular incident has happened. So now what is the next process? We have to remove that particular type of an event. So limit the damage and prevent the attack from spreading. So what is the first step is containment. So in this containment, we are following the two types of process. That is here short-term containment and the long-term containment. So we have to disconnect the affected systems from the network and apply the temporary faults or the isolated impact. So here in the short-term containment, we have to disconnect the systems and we have to apply some sort of a firewalls or isolate the infected host. Then coming to a long-term containment, like a patch vulnerabilities. So here we need not go for the entire system to do. So there are what are the gaps, whatever the gaps which have been identified, that should be taken into a proper way. And if any kind of updation is required at that particular gap, that we need to identify and we need to implement that. Like we can even say that implement more permanent changes like rules, updates or system segmentation. So if there is any change in the like a rule update, like here the policy, like IR policy or the IR plan is not proper, or like it is having some sort of gaps which has been identified. Now the policy or the plan has to be changed according to the guidelines. Coming to the next phase, eradication. So in the eradication, eliminate the root cause of an incident. And like here, what is the next step is, like in the containment, we have identified, we have isolated the systems. Now eradication, that is, we have to remove the complete malware as well as a backdoor or unauthorized content, right? So we have to identify them and we have to remove that from particular system. So what is the important step is removing it from the like root cause, like where it has happened, how it has happened, like what kind of a system it is affecting, that we have to identify and we have to fix those kind of vulnerabilities in a system, and we have to spot those kind of vulnerabilities and we have to remove it from the system. So in order to do this, we are going for a vulnerability scanning to confirm the full cleanup. So here we have to remove the particular sort of an incident from the system. So in order to do that, we have to go for a vulnerability scan and like any sort of thing like which has to be updated, and we have to go for a full cleanup. So now whatever the system which has been identified with a kind of an incident, now we have to take that system and we have to do the complete vulnerability scanning to the particular system. If that complete incident is free, or like we can say that it's completely incident free, then we have to bring back the system and we have to avoid, or like we can say that we have to bring back the particular system into a cluster. If this is not happened, again the damage will be. So always that should be eliminated from the root. So if again we are bringing back the whole system to a cluster, it will be damaging to the whole system here. Coming to the next phase, that is recovery. So restoring systems and operations to, now the system has identified, we have removed it. Now we have to take the backup from the system. So like whichever the system has been affected with sort of an incident, that has to be bring back to a normal. So rebuild the affected system for the tester backups or like a media, whatever the backup data, whatever the project which has been done in the system, the original backup has to be taken, and like any kind of patch management or watch out things can be done, or a technology watch or any sort of updates which is required for that particular sort of system. We have to do it in a proper manner, and we have to monitor for abnormal activities. Like the system has brought to a normal state, but even though you should not bring that particular system in a cluster again, we have to work that particular system in a single system. And if any sort of abnormal activity has been detected, we have to check it. And if it is running in a normal manner, then we have to bring back that particular system into it. Next, in a paused and a controlled manner, we have to bring that system into a again to the cluster, and we have to do that system, or we have to check the system in a proper manner. Next, the last phase is your post-incident activity, or the other name of this is a lesson learned. So here, the learn from the incident to strengthen the security posture and responsible candidate. So here we can say, like in the last phase, like whatever the things you have been identified from the preparation, detection, containment, eradication, that all the things you have to have a meeting with all kind of the people who are involved in the incident. There may be a different sort of a people, like external people or internal people, like a team lead or the help desk person or a technical assistant person or a legal people or a HR or a social media. All the kind of people has to be involved, and we have to conduct a meeting. And we have to document, like what are the changes. Like we can say technical people. A technical people has observed some changes that has to be documented. And the security managers, whatever the change it has been done, that complete detail has. And coming to legal problems, like some sort of legal problems has been faced. So what are those kind of problems that has been faced? That has to be listed. And along with that, like what is a root cause? And like what difference, like in a social media or like any sort of a public event which is causing a disturbance, that has to be identified, and everything should be prepared in a documented manner. That is from the pinch to the last step, everything has to be detailed in a document. So detailed incident reporting, like a timeline, whether like what timeline of an event. So when a particular event has happened, when did it be? Like what is the duration of that particular incident? So if it is for 3 seconds, or if it is for 1 minute, or if it is for 5 minutes. So in the 5 minutes, what has happened? Like how the data has been corrupted, what is the thing has been damaged, complete system. Everything has to be maintained. What are the timeline of an event has to be maintained. And in that particular time, like whether a kind of a new kind of a malware or new kind of incident has happened, that we need to check. And what is the root cause? Like, is it caused by an insider threat, or is it caused by other people, or it is having any sort of intellectual property? Like, what is the main cause of that particular analysis that we need to check? And coming to the impact, like based on the type of a problem, how the impact, how the particular thing has been damaged the organization, whether it has taken a huge damage, and whether it is affecting the business or any sort of a reputational damage or any downtime it is there, like everything we need to check. And its effectiveness of response actions, like based on the severity of an actions, whether we can say that a kind of action has been done in a proper manner or not. So whether a kind of action which has done from the preparation to the last phase, whether it has done in a proper time or not, that effective plan, whatever the plan which you have implemented, again we have to go to the first phase, that is the new kind of policies or new kind of rules which have been added in the lessons learned phase, that should be added in the first phase again. So I have already said this is a cyclic activity. Whenever a new kind of incident has occurred, the plan, policy or the procedure elements will be changed again. So for each and every sort of an attack, there will be a new kind of actions which has been identified that will be implemented, that will be changing the IR policy. So this is a cyclic process, not a linear process. If any sort of lessons learned in the last phase, that kind of implementation, that kind of update, whatever the backups, like everything is required for an organization, will be moved to the first phase, that is for a preparation phase, and all the kind of things will be added, and the remaining activity in the same kind of activity occurs in the future, because there is already we are having a document of the same kind of incident. We can take it as a document list and we can sort out the risk. So here the post-incident activity lesson learned is the important phase. Whatever the gaps which have been identified, that should be moved to the preparation phase, and that plans, policies also should be implemented in a proper manner. Thank you.